But at one point, I felt like I was looking at the future, and I didn't see myself become like the new Martin Garrix or Nicky Romero.
Well, I think they would only need two words, and that's probably they would all say always late.
Oh, yeah.
Hey guys, welcome to Mylo's Mansion here from my house in Amsterdam with this time another special guest. I'm here with Quirijn. He works for Stamped Records, so we actually work really close together. As we work on all my releases and basically that. So welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Nice to be here.
Good times. So basically what we do every podcast is we have a set of questions here on the table, which I haven't seen, you haven't seen.
Ooh.
And it's basically just, to get things going and get the conversation started. So I'll just start out with number 2, actually. You work at Stamped Records. Can you tell us a bit more about what you do there?
Yeah, of course. I work as head of marketing and also involved in A&R. But might be good to tell a little bit more on how I got there.
Yeah.
Because I started out as an artist myself together with a friend of mine. We had this progressive house duo called Volta State, and we made music for 4 years, like full-time as an artist. We were signed to Nicky Romero and his management, and we toured a lot with him, like did gigs such as Tomorrowland Brazil, South Africa. We had a big show in Seagate and even had a track with him. So that's a little bit how we started, but at one point I felt like I was looking at the future and I didn't see myself become like the new Martin Garrix or Nicky Romero. So I thought like, I've studied marketing. I thought like how nice would it be to also work, to make the switch and work at the business side of music and still make music on the side, which is also really nice because you have all the freedom to make whatever you like without having to think about would it be a good step for my career or how would people respond live or on what label can I sign this. So now I have all the freedom to make whatever I like, and that's really nice. So I made the switch from being an artist to the business side. I first started at Armada, which was really nice, like amazing people there, but it was a really big company. So you only have your small field of expertise where you can operate in, and I really like to be a bit more broad and also to work for a company that share the same vision. And I really found that with Stamped, actually. So I made the move to Stamped, and when I started there, it was a really small team, only 3 people, and they just hired Boris, our designer, creative. So I started doing marketing over there, and that's what I'm still doing. But like for such a small label, you have so many assets you're active in. Like marketing for Stamped means pitching to all the DSPs. Like when we have a new release, we want to have as much editorial support as possible. So you pitch it to all the curators from all the different territories. Another thing we do is like DJ promo, obviously, like with club tracks, which we release a lot. You want to have all the DJs playing them. And we target them really specific to the people we think should play them. Then another thing that contains marketing is radio promo. Like also with your tracks, sometimes we have music that is more crossover for radio as well, not only club. And like I think your track Still Around was a really good example. So we are plugging that to the territories that we think make sense. So over the years we had like great support in the US, for example, SiriusXM or iHeartRadio. And in Holland we have regularly tracks on playlists of 538 or Slam FM. So that's also marketing.
Yeah.
And then we have obviously the social media part, and we try to do something more for our artists as well. So like a little bit of artist development and advertising and stuff. So that's basically the whole marketing thing that we do. And in the beginning, I was executing those things myself, but like along the way, our team grew. So I got more of like an overseeing role in that. So that's in short a little bit what I do at STMPD and how I got there.
Nice. Because I think, I've been there, how the whole label started. But in the beginning it was like you guys maybe did one release every week.
True, yeah.
And maybe in the beginning, not even one every week.
True.
And now it's like, I think 4 to 5 releases sometimes.
Yeah.
Every week.
That's true. We kind of grew as well within the amount of tracks we release, but we still really try to only release the music that we think is really cool and makes a difference.
Yeah.
But as our team grew, we have more capacity, so we're able to release more. But I think we will stick to this amount for a while.
Yeah, because how big is the team now currently?
I think we're with 10 people. It's still not too crazy for all the things we do.
No.
So we have like Steven, label manager, who's doing that together with Watson. Watson is also Martijn's manager.
Yeah.
We have a creative guy, designer, a video editor, a label coordinator, someone who takes care of YouTube, a social media marketing person, a data specialist, like developer.
Yeah.
Someone who's a specialist in running advertisement. So it's we grew quite big in a short period of time.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I also love, like working with the teams. Like we can do basically everything in-house. Like I've worked with other labels where they would basically sign the track and they would do like the promotion. They would send it out to all the Spotify, Apple Music, like all the DSPs. And then my own team, we had to deliver like the artworks and like everything just by ourselves.
Yeah. Well, I think it's always good if a label accepts that an artist delivers some assets themselves.
Yeah.
But we definitely want to assist as much as we can.
Yeah.
Also because we want to not only put tracks online, but really try to be involved in artist development as well, and be more than a label, and maybe also take away some of the management things. Like we try to give advice on visual identity, on branding. We help with A&R, with technical feedback. Like also the artists we work with for on a long-term base, we always try to create their own artwork style within the STMPD identity, so you can still see it's STMPD, and try to do extra stuff like creating like Instagram filters, or like we do the STMPD Records radio show where we follow a day of the life of an artist. You also participated in that, and made some great pizzas, I remember.
Yeah, that was a fun day.
I don't know how much you paid those people, but they all say they like the pizzas.
Yeah, it was quite a lot, actually. Expensive day.
Yes, no, but stuff like this, and also like extra stuff to show more of the artist, like we did with the pub quiz. I remember you also participated in that. I think the acoustics were a bit less.
Yeah, that's when I just moved. I just got the keys from my apartment on that day,
really?
So there was nothing here yet.
I heard a lot of reverb.
Yeah, so it was basically just an empty room. So explains the reverb.
Yeah, but it was nice.
Yeah, it was fun. Like those things are really fun to do, and that's why I'm also doing this. Like, to really get to know people instead of just seeing the Instagram feed, which is of course like super. I mean, I think about what I post. Like you really
true. You
think like, okay, should I post this? Yes or no? Mm-hmm. So it's not, obviously it is like spontaneous, but it's not always the most realistic. Like you don't see all the things that happen behind the scenes and like all those kind of stuff. So I think that's really good to like really to get to know an artist
100%.
And the person behind it.
I really like the concept, especially in these times as well.
Yeah.
It's nice.
You know, since we don't have much better things to do, why not?
I really miss also the to be at the office and at the studios because like at STMPD, you know it. We have like the studios downstairs. And we work upstairs with like we have the office there. But it's such a creative hub. Like all the artists, they come upstairs and say like, okay, I made this. Let's check it out. What do you think? That's an amazing atmosphere, and
Nice, cool. Let's do one question from your side.
Let's try a question. In times of the coronavirus, did you get to know yourself differently because you have a lot of free time now?
I mean, I know from myself that I have this quality to, you know, be by myself and keep myself entertained, basically. So I already knew I had that quality, so it wasn't like I got lost or something. But
But what are you doing then? Playing Warzone, baking pizzas?
Well, both.
Nice.
Gaming, cooking, you know, just messing around with music. And I think it was also really nice for me. The thing that I kind of like found out for myself is to kind of let go of the pressure sometimes. Like if you're touring all the time, I feel like making music sometimes is like, okay, I have to put out a song because otherwise I won't have a song out for like 3 or 4 months, and that's
when is the new song coming? We're waiting for it. You have to put out a new song. I'm just kidding.
The label pressure. I'm being pressured. No, not at all, actually. But that was nice to like, you know, kind of just be chilled again with music and just play around and just not have the pressure of a release schedule.
That's the perfect spot to be in. To be honest, like that's what I'm experiencing now. Now I just make music for fun. I love it so much. You can just do whatever you like and take the time to develop your sound and develop the direction you want to go to. And one thing I'm curious about, by the way, because your songs always contain like crazy melodies. I think that's for me, it's really your strongest point. So I was wondering, do you always start with a melody? Because some producers start with like searching for the right sound preset and then build a whole track around that. But do you start with a melody?
Yeah, I actually always do because.
And what's your inspiration like for that?
I don't know. It's just, well, it could basically be anything. Like sometimes I just start messing around with chords, and I think, I mean, I don't play any instruments. I play a little bit of guitar, but it's not like I'm actually playing piano or something.
Do you draw the notes or do you play?
I draw all the notes.
Crazy.
So that is what I think also gives the freedom of like just the drawing, that you just, you know, sometimes you place notes accidentally in the wrong place or whatever, and then something cool kind of happens. And sometimes it's also like just a sample or like, I don't know, just a lot of times I just like this vocal atmosphere. Like you basically, if you just chop a little piece from a vocal and you put a lot of reverb on it. We're getting very technical now. But you know, you can kind of get like this atmospheric kind of like sound. And then that's basically just one straight note playing. And then sometimes that just, I don't know, inspires to get a melody on top of that.
Yeah, I totally get it. I did it myself as well sometimes.
I mean, I still love, obviously, sandcastles.
That's nice to hear. Yeah, that's also a little bit my connection with Martijn. Like I met Martijn already, I think when he was 15 at Dance Valley or something, and I was already like, it's crazy how much enthusiasm he had and humble he was, friendly person. But then after, like, Nicky Romero sent him one of our songs, and he made a mashup with Don't Look Down.
Yeah.
And Martijn started playing it, like, I think, in his sets for 4 years or something, which was crazy.
Yeah.
So
the melody is great.
Yeah, well, thanks.
Sandcastles. Yeah, I love that song. Cool. I'll jump to another question. Well, we kind of have discussed this, but...
Yeah, it's just a really weird question that you don't dare to say.
Well, yeah. What made you decide to start working behind the scenes? Well, you basically answered.
Yeah.
And how do you combine this with your personal music career? Like you said, you still do make music.
True, actually. Like I said, I really love the freedom to make whatever I like. I also make music from out the melody, and I kind of believe that if you have the perfect melody and you can transmit the emotion you're looking for into different genres even. So that's for me now my goal to make... Yeah, I started from progressive house, but now I want to move a little bit more into other genres, and I'm exploring the indie band vibe. So what I'm into right now is to have that... to incorporate progressive house melodies in more like M83 style or Mike Snow, more down tempo, more like a real band. And so I love to make it, but I also felt like I shouldn't release that on labels again because of the freedom I want to have. I don't want to have labels to say like, I should change this. Or, so that's why I started to release it myself. And that actually also brought a lot of good things that I could incorporate into Stamped. Like, so when we were doing Volta State, like Beatport was super important. You have to have Beatport top 10 tracks, and that shifted to Spotify. And also I wasn't making club tracks anymore, so I was like, okay, I don't have a big push. So how do people hear my tracks? Because I didn't have any push. No. So that's why I really jumped into the marketing part, and that way you also forced to constantly dive into all the stuff that is possible. For instance, I came across how to build your own playlists and build a curator network and do trades, etc. And that was way before. Like now it's quite common, but when I started it was quite new. And all those things you explore, it's nice to incorporate that on a bigger scale for Stamped. And also, like when you're doing your daily job, it's most of the time super busy, and you're not always having the time to zoom out and really think like, okay, what kind of tricks are out there? What's the development? What are the new things? And when you're making music yourself and releasing it yourself, you kind of have to be on top of that game. So I really love the combination. Yeah,
nice. Yeah, because what you said, like sometimes labels really try to steer in some kind of direction. Which, true. I mean, obviously sometimes is necessary. Because I feel like not necessarily even a label, but just anyone. Like I have someone, or like I have multiple people that I always play my music to, and just to see what they feel and to just hear what they think about it. But I also feel like with Stamped there's a lot of freedom also. Like there's not like you guys would never say, maybe you should start making this or this kind of music.
I was planning on saying that. No, but
you should make carnival music from now on.
That would be nice. Now, I think the big difference also for Stamped is we wouldn't give advice that would benefit Stamped. Like if we would feel like, okay, this genre is a hype, we wouldn't say to you, okay, make this genre, because then we benefit out of it. We try to really give advice on what's best for the artist. So if we feel like, okay, if you do this or that, then you, with your profile, will grow stronger or bigger. It makes more sense to go that direction. So I think that's the difference in this case.
I mean, obviously, like technical things, like that's what I also really love, like because you produced and like Steven also knows stuff, really about production and stuff. Like a lot of A&Rs, they would really like vaguely describe. We're missing. Yeah, like I don't know. We're missing. It's not sounding full enough or whatever. Like
true.
very vague terms.
And you have no idea what to do when you're back in the studio. I totally get that.
But like you guys are really able to give like proper technical.
I think it's important. Sometimes
feedback as well.
Gets underestimated, but I think it's really important to be able to explain what you mean.
Yeah. And just also like for me then knowing what to do with that.
Yeah.
Instead of just like trying something and then, well, let's see if they like it this way, yes or no.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool. Let's do the next one. Yeah.
Yeah. What is the reason that you use Logic Pro instead of, for example, Fruity Loops?
Well, we're now in the technical area. I don't know. Actually, I remember I did start in Fruity Loops actually, because
everyone started in Fruity Loops, right?
I think it's just because it's accessible.
Yeah, and it's easy.
And it was easy to crack, probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I just had my little Windows computer we had at the house. And, you could get Fruity Loops on that. And Mac computers were and are still very expensive.
True.
So that was basically the barrier at the time. But yeah, I was a very big fan of Hardwell. When I started out, I really looked up to him. And he was working in Logic, so I felt, I have to work in Logic.
Yeah.
And that's basically just how I started working with Logic. And
I can name one thing, I think, like the automations in Fruity Loops make me lost always.
Yeah.
Like they're everywhere.
Definitely one thing is like in Fruity Loops, there's like so many layers. Like in Logic, everything is in one window, basically.
Yeah, true.
And like you have plugins, of course.
Yeah.
But in FL, you have like the sequencer thing, and like the mixer is separate.
True.
And like the whole arrangement is separate.
Yeah.
And you can have basically, and I don't get how people that work in Fruity can live with this, but like in Fruity, you can have like 3 instruments on one channel.
Oh yeah, that's
like
true.
You have like one channel where you can have a piano playing in one part of the song, and the next part is, I don't know, percussion on the same channel.
It gets me confused always.
Yeah. I don't know, when you start out working in something, just stick with it, basically.
True, I think
because you work in Logic.
True. It doesn't matter where you work in.
No, you work in Logic as well, right?
Yeah. I really like it. I also made the switch from Fruity Loops to Logic and kind of stuck with it.
Yeah, because I always get a lot of people that have worked with Logic as well, and then switched to Ableton because they felt it was more, I don't know, creatively more freer to mess around with samples and stuff.
Yeah,
but
I can imagine. But with the latest update, they took some things from Ableton to make it a bit more creative as well.
I think I should still explore those. I haven't found them out yet, I think. Well, probably like the flex mode and stuff, like the flex pitching and like.
Yeah, that's what they kind of incorporated the whole Melodyne function, but that was already a while ago. Yeah.
Well, let's end the technical things there. I'll go for the next question. Well, we have already answered all these things.
Yeah, but you are starting with question number 2. So now it's what was the question?
Well, that you were a DJ, called Volt and State, and why this stopped.
Yeah, okay.
Well, we've been there. I'll go into the last one. What is your goal to reach with Stamped in the future?
It depends on where you... how you specify it. If you look at the A&R side, I think one of the goals we have at the moment is one of the cool things about Stamped that I really like is that we release cool music no matter what kind of genre it is. Yeah. So we released from house to progressive house, trap to deep house, even like music from Omar, which is like a combination between Disclosure, K Tornada, and Flume.
Yeah.
So we're really versatile, but the thing is, like, a lot of people, like, they know it's Martijn's label, and obviously we release a lot of tracks that Martijn can play in his set. So I think a lot of people might think it's more of an EDM label, although also really big fan base knows that we release all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
But I think now we can show a little bit more that we're more versatile than EDM, and I think it's really cool to to focus on signing those other genres as well.
Yeah.
To make that more clear to our audience. Because I personally really love the vision that we can do all genres as long as it's kind of has the stamped vibe in it.
Yeah.
But we're definitely not limited, and that's something we want to show our audience as well.
Yeah, because like I've with other labels, and that's definitely not a bad thing at all. But like, for instance, I don't know, Revealed.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I don't know, and maybe that's me personally, but that's really Hardwell's label.
Yeah, true.
And for me, Stamped also feels a little bit more like a more independent.
Yeah.
Like, of course, it's Martin's label, but it's I don't know, it feels a little bit more separate from him than I get with other artist labels.
Yeah, that's also really what we're trying to do. And of course, it's nice to have the push from Martijn's side.
Of
but
course.
We want to be independent as well,
Yeah.
in a way. So yeah, that would be one of the goals. And another important thing is to really build our artists we're working with and help them with more than just releasing tracks, but also build their identity and help them develop in their sound.
I say, let's go.
Let's go.
Cool. Did we have more?
I have
from
more
you?
questions. So.
Yeah. Should get nervous now. No.
Yes. If you had a time machine that could take you back in time, what advice would you give your younger self? This is a nice one.
Deep question. I would say probably, I don't know. I do feel like everything happens for a reason. Like, you learn from everything you experience, but maybe to just overthink less, probably.
So you overthink a lot? Can you give an example?
The freedom, that you spoke about, like, you know that that I'm just in Mylo, and I have a certain brand, and people have a certain expectation from what I do.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, I do have a lot of times like that I'm thinking like, okay, where to go next, or can I do this or that, because would people expect this from me, or would it be weird doing this or releasing this kind of song being me?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's something I think I do think about a lot. Or yeah, basically.
You see more and more artists also like starting their alias. I think because of this reason.
Yeah.
Is this something you have in mind as well, or do you always want to have it within your just a Mylo profile?
Yeah, for me, I think it would be cool to just always have it fit within my own profile. Like, even like, for instance, what a lot of guys are doing now is like a deeper alias, like making deeper songs. But I think for me, it would be cooler than to maybe still make a deep song, but kind of like incorporate things that I've done before into that sound. Yeah,
that's what I like as well, and show people that you're more versatile than only.
That's kind of like how things. A lot of songs that I did kind of like came together, like Bouncy Bob, for instance. I mean, I've said this many times. I really loved Big Room at the time. but it kind of was like, I don't know, Big Room wasn't really the popular sound at that time anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I also loved like the deep stuff that like Oliver Heldens was doing then with like Gecko and those songs. And then I felt like maybe I can incorporate those two things and have like a deeper, groovier song, but still with the energy from a Big Room song.
Yeah, that's super nice.
And that's, I think, also like how I came up with, well, the whole Chasing Shadows and more the melodic stuff, like bringing that groove again into more of like a progressive-y kind of song.
Yeah, you're really into that crossover between progressive house, also a little bit of future house, and it kind of, for me, it kind of has the catchiness of Avicii melodies, but the groove and the energy of, for instance, Brooks. For me, it's a perfect combination. I really like that.
Well, that's a good compliment for my ego.
But do you have a direction in mind? Like, if you're in the studio now, do you feel like, okay, the music is heading towards this or that, or I should move that direction?
I mean, yeah, I did a couple of songs now that are maybe, a little bit houseier-ish, I think. Mm-hmm. But still, like, with the whole catchiness.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't know. That's just what kind of happened in the studio. But no, I haven't really thought out really, like, a direction yet of I want to go there or there. But, yeah, I don't know. We're still figuring that out now, especially now when you have a lot of time to really think about this and really try out stuff, because have so much time for that.
Well, I think it's important to this sounds super cliche, but just to make what you like the most. It sounds super obvious and cliche, but it's crazy. If you look at the amount of demos we get, they always kind of follow the hype at the moment. Like, there was a hype where we released music from Seth Hills, Crime Scene, Julian Jordan, Blinders. They were all a little bit operating in the same field with more percussive, aggressive tracks.
Yeah.
And at that point, like 80% of the demos sounded like them. Yeah. And then I was like, why would you make the same music if you already release it? But I think a lot of people think like, oh, they're looking for this music. Yeah. But we're looking for people that are unique. And now we're seeing shifting it a bit into music that sounds like Matt Nash and Dub Vision. So it kind of follows the trends, all the demos we get. And I'm always like, just make whatever you like and what you,
Yeah, because I feel a lot of people like, I mean, I was just like this when I started out. You basically look at the people you look up to and you feel like, I want to have what they have.
I have a question. What people do you maybe still look up to, like production-wise?
Avicii a lot, like melodically. Like, I really think it's super special, like how just by the melody, like you could play any of his songs just on a piano, like without the production.
Yeah,
and
it already sounds crazy. Yeah,
you can hear it's Avicii.
Yeah, its signature is also in his melodies. Yeah.
So that's something I really kind of try to achieve as well.
Yeah.
And the Sweets, Axwell and Grosso.
Yeah, 100%. I think for Axwell and Grosso, the crazy thing about them, in my opinion, is, well, when you're making an emotional melodic track and you're going to mix it, it's always you have two sides, like, or you make it super clean and the emotion goes away, in my opinion, or you keep it like raw and a bit dirty, but then the emotion is there. But with them, they have like a few elements only. It's like super tight, super clean, and the emotion is still there. That's for me, it blows me away.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, I mean, I've seen like a couple, videos online about how they kind of work and stuff, and it's like there's like there's like very basic elements.
True.
It's like sometimes super basic, but also not. It's like, I don't know, it's weird. It's they really found something there.
Yeah, true. I'm looking forward to their new stuff as well.
Yeah. Well, if we're ever gonna hear it, hopefully.
So let me see if I have another question for you.
Cool. I think that's.
How do you think your best friends would describe you if they could only use 3 words?
Well, I think they would only need 2 words, and that's probably they would all say always late.
Oh, yeah. Why are you always late?
I don't know. I have this. I don't know. I miss this sense of urgency. I don't know. I really get stuff done when the pressure is on.
I see what you mean.
Like when there's no pressure or anything, there's not much. I miss the motivation a little bit. It's not like I'm not doing anything, but I need that pressure, I think. And I think I have a very bad sense of time.
So fans always have to wait a few minutes when you go on stage?
Yeah. Well, no. I'm always, actually, for shows, I've never been late for shows.
No, because then there's pressure as well.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel like, whenever I'm meeting up with friends and like we were supposed to meet up at like 1.
Yeah.
And then at like 12:45, I feel like, oh, maybe I can still, I still have 15 minutes. So why not just jump on my laptop for a little bit and do this or that? And then I run late.
That's why you invited me here, so you couldn't be late.
Yep, exactly. That's why I bring everyone to my place, so I don't have to bother everyone with me being late.
Nice.
Well, good talks.
Yes.
Thank you for coming in.
Are we already done?
Well, if you have more to tell.
I don't know. I'm just looking at the clock over there, so I can see what time it is, and I don't see it. We have surpassed 45 minutes yet.
Well,
but if that's not a problem, I'm
not
okay.
at all. I feel like this should be natural.
That's totally true.
We don't force things.
Yeah, nice.
That's the clue of this podcast. Yes. Don't force things, and just have fun and be original-ish.
That's a nice one to end the podcast with.
Good one to end it on.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me. Super nice.
Cool.
And talk soon.
Definitely.